This next podcast is brought to you by peakpotential.world and obviously me. I started peakpotential.world to help people just like you. Whether you want to start a successful podcast, become a content creator, monetize your social media channels, grow your social media channels, and anything in between. We cover various aspects, including marketing, sales, business knowledge, and everything you could physically need to start your own brand and quit that job that you hate. You'll have access to thousands of ebooks, masterclasses, weekly webinars, a networking group with other like-minded people just like yourself who want to do better. So what are you waiting for? All you've got to do is click the link in the description, sign up today, and I'll be giving you a bell later. But without further ado, let's get into the podcast. But don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget to drop a comment with your thoughts down below. It all helps. The more subscribers we have, the better the guests will be. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you later. Peter G, how are we, brother?
I'm good.
Get in. Good to have you here, bro.
No, it's good to be here, mate. Thank you.
Mate, I'm excited for this one. Like, big time. Mate, so, Pete, tell me, bro, were you always on this journey that you're on now, or did something happen along the way? What did young Pete look like growing up?
The Milky Bar kid. Yeah, that was. I wasn't always this like motivational, and I didn't always want to put myself online or be in some sort of spotlight and things like that. I came from like pretty like rough backgrounds, council estate, usual upbringing, getting involved in stuff on the streets, violence, crime, all sorts of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Getting involved in like the wrong type of relationships, the wrong type of friendships, and going down what you would call the wrong path. So I was never really, the idea of motivation in itself was a myth to me. I didn't even discover it until about 10 years ago, when I actually really needed it. And I needed it when I was on the brink and I was suicidal in myself, and I was searching for answers, and thank God I had access to the internet, because that's where I found my first motivational video that actually lit a fire in me to make me change and make me want to get out of this pity party that I'd thrown myself, and out of this little fucking this mental prison that I'd put myself in for ages. And I was living in there. Do you know what I mean? I was in and out of there, and when I wasn't in there, I was drunk. So it was like I was battling between the two. I was in between being an alcoholic and being suicidal for a very long time, until I actually discovered motivation myself and even got onto what personal development was all about. And it took me years. It took me to like my late 20s. So I'm in my 30s now. So it took me to my late 20s to actually start standing up for myself and start looking in the mirror and facing my own truths, and start to develop this person that you see today who's putting out all these motivational videos and stuff like that. So in short, to what you've just asked, like, no, not really. I've only just been since really my account started about 3 years ago. So yeah, so the last few years I've really been honing in on my purpose and things like that.
Yeah. And what was the sort of turning point for that, mate? Like, and I say that from my own experience. Like, I used to have a total different attitude to what I had today. And similar to you, I grew up with a divvy attitude, you know, got chucked into the army because my dad was like, you're going away, like, I can't act you anymore. But, like, I suppose the turning point for me was when I got out of the army and struggled, like you say, you know, hit a bottle and addiction and stuff like that, and really, like, was a tipping point where I was like, what is around me isn't good for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, what was your sort of, like, what happened? Like, I know you said you just watched that video then, but what made you want to just do things differently? Because it's one extreme to the other, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if I do something, I like to put my whole self into it.
2
like,
feet in.
If, like, I've got, like, people always, like, label an addictive personality as something negative, but I always say you can flip it on its head and use it as a positive. So I've always had an addictive personality. Whatever I do, I'm doing it all the way. If you come in here and open a packet of cookies in front of me, I won't eat one. I'll eat all of them until I'm nearly blue in the face, feeling sick, because that's just the kind of person that I am. I'm just more, go. Whatever I put myself into, I do it all the way, because it's just how I've always been. But I've always done it in the wrong things, whether it was like binge drinking, whether it was like, you know, whatever I was involved in, whatever used to stimulate me, whatever instant gratification I was getting, I was just focusing on that and just you know what I mean, just like escapism and stuff like that. And then, but you get to a point in life, especially as a man, especially with all the pressure that's on us in society, you have to assess like, if you stay on this road that you're on, where's it going to lead to? Do you know what I mean? And every single man has to do that at some stage. Some people, you can only ignore it for so long. That's why you see people having midlife crises and things like that, because they hide away from looking in the mirror. And that's what personal development taught me. So the turning point for me was just, I couldn't even tell you like for one thing, because I could write a book on the amount of shit that I've been through. Do you know what I mean? And I could tell you, everyone's got a sad story. I could get the violins out, but what I did, I just got sick and tired of playing the victim.
Yeah.
So, and as I learned more about personal development, what it takes to actually be a man and somebody, and the things I should be chasing, because I was chasing all the wrong things, like the wrong relationships, I was chasing validation from external sources when really I needed to find it internally, do you know what I mean, before, so I could actually validate myself, because that would be something that would be long lasting, because I was constantly, so if you're out constantly trying to chase it from external sources, you're always going to fall short of the expectations of other people, and that's what I was guilty of for ages. And then there's only so many come downs you can have, there's only so many times you can wake up black and blue, there's only so many times you can get the short end of the stick where you think, you know what, something inside me wants more for me, how am I going to get there? And then you have to start laying out a roadmap, and that's what I'm a big advocate for, like just looking at yourself in the mirror, because personal development taught me to look in the mirror, and I didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I saw a weak, lying, alcoholic, manipulative cheater who was just like, who was playing the victim all the time, do you know what I mean? And I just got sick of it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to face this truth. I'm going to sort this person out, because I just knew I wasn't like everybody else, and I had to start really making changes. And then when you know you've got like a desire to change inside, then it's like, how do I get there? So then I started like looking into other people, or looking online, people with the mindset and the just the accolades that I wanted. And then I was thinking, how did they get there? And you just learn from other people. We're learning on the job, aren't we? That's what life is like. Like if I was to say, if you ask me like, who are you? I'd be like, well, that's just going to be something that's under construction for the rest of my life. Like,
how long have you got?
This is what I mean. Like, the person I was 6 days ago might not be the person I am today, because you're constantly developing. People think that, like, when you get to a certain age, you're going to be like this, and then that's you then for the rest of your life. Like, that's why they call it a journey, because it's just never ending.
And it's so important that, like, what you've just said there in the journey, like, so many people say to me, where do you want to go? And I just go, I don't know. But just forward, do you know what I mean? Because so many people look at it as, right, this is the goal, but a lot of the people don't enjoy the journey and then become very unhappy with chasing whatever it is they want because they don't enjoy it. But like what you've just said then there is, I think a big problem of today is everybody's chasing, you know, the whole Love Island sort of image, Instagram, social media. Everyone's trying to be something too far away from the person that they are. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are getting it up when it eventually get to the end of that and they're not happy. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm posting on Instagram, I'm doing this, getting them on Love Island. But like, take away social media, for what have they got? Do you know what I mean?
People are just like losing their identity, trying to live out the lives of other people, looking online, looking on social media and thinking, this is how I'm supposed to be living. So they're trying to live up to the expectations of other people and live out their lives and their truth, so much so that they're losing their own identity. Yeah. Like they don't even know who they are, because they've been to that many events that they didn't sign up to. They followed the crowd for that long. Like they say, sheep follow sheep. And do you know what I mean? There's only so long that you can do something that's not aligned with who you are until you actually, and then you will one day wake up and realize you don't even know who you are. And I think that's what a lot of people do. I think because it's so easy now to post something that looks like a win on social media and get instant gratification and get some sort of validation with minimal effort. Everybody's on it. That's why everybody posts every little thing they do. Even when you see like out on like the party scene and stuff like that, everybody's more interested in filming what's actually going on than actually being in the moment. And you know yourself, if I'm having a good time, the last thing I'm doing is pulling my phone out. I'm forgetting all about my phone because it spends enough time in my fucking hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like society now as a whole just struggles with the gap between like reality and trying to get instant gratification for what, like trying to make your reality look like it's something that it's fucking not. You're making your media. Yeah. Instagramification. Yeah, that's a belt. So I'm having that. Hey, yeah, I'm having that, mate. Yes. Hey, that's a Richy exclusive. That. Go on. Yeah,
but like,
man.
it's sad and not, you know, getting caught up in like you say, that rat race of trying to be this looking at somebody else and going, oh, I want that life, but actually not thinking about what you want. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm guilty of this. Last year before, the new business started, and it was tunnel vision. Do you know what I mean? I forgot about what mattered the most, which is the family. Do you know what I mean? Everything around me that was supporting that, fell off because I was tunnel vision, very, very selfish, just cared about work. And in my head, I was like, well, I'm doing this for you. You shouldn't be getting wound up. I'm doing this for you, the kids, everything, this, that, and the other. But actually, if I'd have carried on doing that, they wouldn't have been around to reap the benefits of it. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually sitting down, and now, and then the family was the most important thing, but there's the way of, like you say, actually looking at everything and the balancing act.
You've got to be able to give them both the same amount of energy. Like, that's what a lot of guys are guilty of. They'll give their job 80%, 90% of their energy and their life force, and then when they get home, what's left for the women and the kids in their life? They're on a little 10%, and they wonder why the marriage or the relationship's going to shit.
Yeah.
Because your missus sees you getting up every single day, giving somebody 90% of all your special traits, of everything that makes you,
yeah.
And she sees you doing it for a paycheck, but then she gets the 10% what's left of the moodiness,
and
kicking off your shoes when you get home, not wanting to put no graft in, not wanting to run up behind her and grab her, and not wanting to play with the kids and things of that nature. Like, that's why where a lot of people go wrong. Like, if you're a man, move the goalpost, keep moving it. Of course, never settle in and comfort. They're the enemies. I can't stand people that settle. The most miserable guys on planet Earth are the guys that settle. The guys who are with the chick that they never really thought they would have settled for, are in the job that they never really thought that would give them the fucking satisfaction that they've always fucking seeked. Do you know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of like middle-aged guys going off the rails, because they're settling. So I know settling's the enemy, just like comfort. But if you are going to be a driven male and you are going to move the goalposts, you need to have some sort of system and boundaries in place where you are grateful for the things that you've got on your table, on your plate at the moment, and make sure that the people that sat around the table fucking know it as well. Make sure like the women and the children and the people who depend on you don't just get wages thrown at them. They actually get your time and your charisma and your energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And like one thing I have now, non-negotiables. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to have them, because when you do get caught in with that tunnel vision, era, you have to have things in place to make you go, no, this is mustard. This is in my calendar. This is what's happening. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's you go in there with the family, you're doing this, that time to be home. Do you know what I mean? One thing I'd like sit there at, last year, for instance, I'd sit there and it'd be fucking 12 o'clock at night and I'd still be at the office, and she'd be like, you're taking the piss. I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't even know what time it was. Do you know what I mean? So I was literally setting an alarm now.
I think, like, as well, what a lot of people don't do, they don't communicate. Communication's key. Like, if you say, right, to your other half, you say, we're going to be doing this on this day, but I'm going to need to work 6 days a week till this day, but on these days we're going here. There's going to be no phones. It's going to be me and you. We're going to be connected, X, Y, and Z. You'd be surprised at how much support you actually get. Whereas people don't have the conversation. They think, well, as men, we're too proud. We're like, she should just know. She should just know. You don't want to explain yourself to a woman that you've just been fucking grafting your ass off all day outside to support. You just want her to fucking read your mind. And women are like, yeah, they've got intuition, but they're not a psychic, because they like to think they are. Do you know what I mean?
Don't fucking say that too loud. But no, it's like you've just said then, like it. One thing I found is, they don't get wound up over the fact that you've got to work. They get wound up over the fact that you haven't told them you're working. If you would have just had a conversation like you've just said, oh, babe, I need to work on this day until this time so that I can do this. But then on the day, instead of doing that, on the day you just go, oh, I've got to work till 12 o'clock tonight. But you've known for 2 weeks, they'll go bang. I've planned this, I've done that, I've done tea, I've done this. Do you know what I mean? And that's...
It's all communication, innit? You've got, like, communication's key, man, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They just don't communicate, and then they wonder why things erupt all the time. Like, especially as a man, if you're supposed to be the leader, if you're supposed to be this big, strong figure in the house, you need to be verbal with where you're going, what you want, and the things you will and will not stand for, and X, Y, and Z, and lay down these certain ground rules, and you'd be surprised how much support and how much you'll conform. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of people don't do that. They make the mistake of just letting somebody come in and just and not give no structure. Do you know what I mean? Where you've got to come with a level of communication and a level of structure for it to work, and then you can be as driven as you want. You work as hard as you want, because you'll always have someone understanding. Do you know what I mean?
And it's time management as well. Like, not doom scrolling through the day and going on your phone. Like, a lot of people like say to me, oh, I'm busy. But every time you go on the screen time, it's fucking 10 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? Like,
If you're not using social media to your advantage, if you're not running businesses, if you're not running a podcast, if you're not trying to make any money, if you're not trying to do anything positive with it, then what are you even on it for? I just don't see the point in being on it. What you're
just
looking
updating
at,
the world with what you're doing.
you're looking at things you can't afford. You're looking at places you're not going. You're looking at other people's fabricated lifestyles, and you're falling into the trap of comparison. There's no need for you to spend that much time on social media unless you're using it in a positive way. And if you spend time with the average person, the average man or woman, 90% of the time they're on social media. What are they doing? They're not answering DMs. They're just scrolling. They're just, like you just said, they're just doom scrolling, and it's sad, man. But it's easily done.
It is.
TikTok's a devil, mate. It happens to me sometimes. Like, I'll do it. I'll be sat on the toilet, mate, and I'll forget where I am. And I'll be like, sat on the toilet, mate, and I'm like this, and I'm like 10 reels in, mate, seeing a few knockouts, seeing a few big arses fucking shaking and that, and I'm seeing a few raves. I've lived about 1 million lives on the toilet for 10 minutes, been all rays of emotions, and I'm like nearly bought a few products, and I'm like, fucking hell. Like, so it is easily done, you know what I mean? You've just got to be so self-aware how you're using your social media, because it can bite you on the arse, and before you know it, you've spent hours and hours in the week doing nothing where you could have been doing something productive, and then you get the same people who say, oh, I've got no time for the gym, or oh, when I get time I'll do this, and I'm like, the productivity's got to be before your pleasure. If you're seeking dopamine scrolling on your reels all day long, do you know what I mean? There's big problems, man.
It's the first thing I say with the peak potential stuff that we're doing with the app is, if anybody says I haven't got, like, we'll give people little tasks every week, or like if they come on and say, oh, I'm too busy to do this, that and the other, I'll go, sound, post a screenshot of your screen time in the group, and they won't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then just go, I'm sorry, I'll get it done. And then I'll just be on them, just going, have you done that? Yeah, I'm doing it now. Right, sound. But do you know what I mean? As soon as you put people up against the fence and go, but you're not doing it to be a dickhead. You're doing it to make people realise that.
You're doing it for their greater good. That's why I'm always an advocate for like coaching and mentors and things like that. And like you're saying with your community group, that's the best thing. If you've got, like, you could spend all the money in the world on a university, you can spend all the money on the world on personal development, but unless you've got that individual that's going to hold you accountable, you're not going to get to where you're trying to be. Or you will, but it'll take you so much longer, because you'll be in your own way. Yeah. Because if you can figure it out by yourself, let's have it right, you would have already done it by now. Everybody needs someone to answer to. Like, even in your group that you created, they'll be holding you to a level of expectation and a level of accountability, and that's going to make you grow. Do you know what I mean? They say iron sharpens iron, and I think, like, people just need that person, like, who's going to say, put your phone down, get to work, and things like that, because it's so many distractions. It's easy to fall into that trap. Do you know what I mean?
And like you just said then, like with accountability, coaching, stuff like that, and you're doing a lot of like lifestyle coaching now and stuff, I think I always call it a sat-nav. Like, if me or you now said, right, let's drive to Cardiff, to whatever street in Cardiff, and park outside number 8, you're not allowed a map, you're not allowed sat-nav, you're not allowed nothing. I'd be there in a week and a half, and you'd be there like a little bit before or after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you went onto maps, put the exact address in, and drove straight there, you'd get straight there. And that's what I think coaching, mentoring, whether it's accountability, business, mindset, anything like that is what that is. Do you know what I mean? You want to get somewhere, and you know where that is, but you don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
With a coach or a mentor, it'll help you get there a million times faster.
Yeah, that's what coaching does. It just time collapses your goals as much as it has somebody there to keep you accountable and hold you to the things that you say you're going to do. And not only the things that you say you're going to do, the things that you know you need to do, the things in the areas where you'll give yourself a little slack, where you'll eat something you shouldn't, where you'll have a day off, where you'll go on that night out, where you'll do things where because the distractions will come at you. When you're on your purpose and you're actually trying to better yourself, that's when all the tests come. That's when all the, like we were speaking about it earlier off camera, like when you're on your purpose and when you're actually feeling good and doing better, that's when you're going to get tested. But you've got your missus to keep you accountable, you've got your community to keep you accountable and things of that nature. So you always need a system in place. So this idea of this one-man band shit, it doesn't work. The top people have always got a team in anything in life. Whether it's sports, whether it's politics, whether it's business, there's always a team. Do you know what I mean? There's never this one-man band bullshit that you see people posting on these reels and these quotes. It's not about it's you versus you. It's not. You know, you need to actually have a support network and have people to hold you accountable so you don't drop off on the days you don't feel like it. Do you know what I mean?
100%, mate. And it's so, and this is what I did my first ever mentoring course a couple of years ago. Cost quite a bit of money, but I'd never been around anything like it in the sense of, you know, growing up and coming out of the army and stuff like that. I never had a lot of people around me who want you to do better. Do you know what I mean? So I seen the power of just a WhatsApp group, mate, at the time was just the power of, you know, 20, 30 people around you going, that's amazing. Go and do this. That's amazing, mate. Well done. Do you know what I mean? And constant sort of,
it's support, isn't it?
Support and just somebody just being there to go, you know, well done for that bit of effort. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I never had that. So like the power, like the difference that made to me in every aspect of my life was unbelievable. And because I wasn't used to it, but so many people will go, oh, I don't need mentoring courses. How can he teach me how to be this, that, and the other? And like, I guarantee you they've never done one.
Yeah, they don't know the power of it. They don't know the power of having that support network there. It's not that. It's like, because if you are going, these people who want to think they can figure it all out by themselves, if you could have, you already would have. Your friends aren't going to keep you accountable. The people who are trying to drag you out every weekend on the piss aren't going to keep you accountable. They're not going to help you get to your goals. None of your family have achieved any of the things that you want to fucking achieve. So now you think all of a sudden that you're above coaching and you're just going to figure it out. Well, good luck with that, mate, because that's going to come with so much stress and trial and error and mistakes and pain that your average man's not going to be ready for, mate. So, you know, certain people, you've got to be teachable in this life. You can't be unteachable, you know what I mean? Because life's one big fucking learning curve, do you know what I mean? And you've got to pick up the information and use it and apply it to your life as you go through the steps and stages. So if you can bring somebody in that's going to help you like clarify certain things and help you learn from, they say a wise man learns from his own mistakes, a wiser man learns from someone else's mistakes. So if someone else is willing to come in for the sake of a few quid to tell you how not to fuck up and not to stress and not to crash and burn over the next 3 years and to time collapse it to 6 months, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. I've spent thousands on mentorships and coaching, and whether it's even if it was just lifestyle coaching in terms of fitness and nutrition, from all the way up to business coaching to mentorships. Like, I've got my people who I have to answer to, as well as my own community, and there's just so much power in it. Do you know what I mean? We've got a tool called the internet, and like you can maximize it and have, like, everybody moans about their being a product of their environment and all that, but now you've got no excuse because the internet has given us something, social media, the big key word, social. So it lets you socialize with people from all parts of the world, people who are like-minded, people who actually want to see you win, who are genuine, who don't know your backstory, who aren't going to hold you past against you, people who are really going to get you behind you on your vision. So you need to be using your social media to your advantage. It's a fucking tool, and a good one at that. Otherwise, like, we wouldn't be sat here now. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And like, I've got, so like, for instance, like what you just said then there, I've got a mate who, I'm going to call him arrogant. He knows exactly what I'm on about. But he will always be he always has been the Billy Big Bollocks. I'm the fucking Don, this, that, and the other. He's one of the unhappiest people I've ever met in my life, and it always has been. But when I said to him once, I was like, I want to be the dumbest person in the room, and he was like, you what? And he didn't get it. He was like, I'm going to be the best person in every single room I walk into, and I was like, no, I want to be in a room full of people that are a million times better than me, so I'll learn off them. And he couldn't wrap his head around it, and he was like, nah, I'm the man in every single room. Well, I was like, well, you're not going to do very well then. Like, you're at that point now, but how are you going to get better if you've got no one to learn off? And there was the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's your ego. Your ego holds you back, doesn't it?
He goes to more events in a year than I've been to in the past 10. Like, he is full on, like, I know what, and he said to her, it was only the other week, he said, you know, when you said that to us outside that networking group, I completely get what you meant now. And he is a different person altogether, mate. And he's just changed his environment. But like, you know, and what you're doing now, it all started with mindset, all personal development, personal mindset. Like, if you haven't got a solid foundation there, you can't build on it. So like what you're doing now with the life coaching and stuff, at what point did you go, I need to do this, or like it's my purpose, or, you know, how did that all come about with the idea?
I've always been that person that my friends come to for advice. Even though if I could be living all the way wrong, but I could still look at somebody, assess their situation, not put any emotionality into it, and help them clarify what's going on, see through their shitstorm, and then guide them through it. I could be absolutely suffering on the inside. You won't be able to tell by looking at me, but like I'd be able to help someone else navigate through their problems. Do you know what I mean? And that's, you have to get to a certain point in life where you assess your gifts. And like, there's a lot of people who go through life and they don't understand that their gift is the fact that they could be going through the absolute amount of shit, but to look at you won't look like you're going through anything at all. That is a gift in itself. And not only that, you can still transcend that feeling as low as it is to make somebody else's life better. You can still be a shoulder to cry on. You can still be somebody who people can phone at 2 o'clock in the morning, even though your head's in the bin. Do you know what I mean? That is a gift. And that's when I got to a point where I just assessed what I was good at in life. And I think being there for other people has always been something that I like to do it. I used to do it like wanting to, because I always wanted validation from other people growing up, being bullied at school and things like that, and not really having much, and always trying to live up to like the older people on the estate, and just trying to fit in, because I never really felt like I fitted in. When really, I'm more of a magnet of a person. People come to me with their issues. Every single client that I've ever got has came through one of my organic reels that have come for free, not off an advert, not off anything, because they've said, I felt like you were speaking to me. So, and that's, like I was saying before, like that's my gift. I have to assess my gifts in life. I'm good at giving advice, definitely. I'm good at speaking, 100%. And like that's coaching in itself.
Yeah.
Somebody who's willing to give you no nonsense advice, speak very well, get a message across that you need to fucking hear, and tell you where you're going wrong and stuff like that. So I think you have to assess what your purpose is in life, and I just really think that this is in like helping other people through personal development and motivation. That's my purpose, and I just think I'm walking in it right at the moment.
Man, it's good karma as well, though, mate. Like you know, if you're helping other, I completely believe in karma in the sense that if you're going around, you're helping people, you're going to get amazing things happen for you. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the same with bad. You go around shafting people left, right, and centre, shit is going to go the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? And it's an unreal gift to have, to be that person that people will turn to. Do you know what I mean? Because actually, like, when you look at a lot of people, and this is just me personally, when you look at a lot of people who have problems and are so caught up in that, whatever it is they're caught up in, someone from the outside looking in, it's very simple when you actually break it down. Do you know what I mean? You could be, someone's, depressed, this, that, and the other, or like they're not getting any sleep, or the family life's shattered. But then you ask them, right, okay, what are you doing? How long have you been drinking for? Or what are you drinking? Oh, well, I'm in the pub every night after work. Well, there you go. What are you doing on the weekends? Oh, I'm getting spannered, going in Friday, coming back Sunday. You're not depressed, you're going to come that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's so easy to look from the outside and actually go, listen, you've got a problem. But that honesty with people, because a lot of people beat around the bush, do you know what I mean? And I think, especially with what you're doing now, you can't sort of beat around the bush with people. Like,
no.
Because if you do, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing.
Because you don't do anybody any favours. The people who really care about you in this world will tell you when you're fucking up, but not only tell you, they will tell you at running the risk of sabotaging the relationship what you've got, because they care so much and they want to see you do better, so much so that they're willing to risk everything that you've got. They're willing. Like, if I would happily be the fall guy for one of my friends to let him see the error in his ways. And he could never speak to me again. If he was on the bones of his arse, drinking himself to death every week, can't hold the relationship down, not got a pot to piss in, but I could put my neck out there, offend him, but it actually penetrate him and make him change his ways, and he could never speak to me again. I'll sooner sacrifice my friendship to see the greater good come out of somebody that I love. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what it's easy for. When you were saying it's easy for people on the outside looking in, because they've got no skin in the game, they've got no dog in the fight, so they don't have an emotionality attachment to it. And like, when you're going through a storm, it's hard to see clear. You know what I mean? But I just think, like, I'm a massive advocate for helping other people, navigate through their problems with no nonsense advice. Because when I was going through my shit in my life, I didn't have anybody to tell me. Everybody was like, because they knew where I've been, they knew what I've been through, they knew where I come from, they knew that I'd had the short end of the stick of life a few times. But that's no excuse. There's no excuse for not living up to your full potential. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So how does the mentor and the lifestyle coach work when you're taking on clients and stuff like that? What would that look like?
So it would look like some people message. So sometimes I do call to actions, which is like DM me the word join to join my community, or if you want to better yourself, DM me the word better. And I get loads. Most of them that have come that have signed up and stuff, like they just come off their own back. I'm like, I need to speak to you. But so within that time, you've got to assess, because there's a lot of weirdos on the internet. So you've got to assess who's serious. Like, people always say, like, what's your ideal client and stuff like that. And you're always looking at age, you're looking at race, you're looking at sex, you're looking at this, you're looking at that, you're looking at all the external factors, when really you need to be looking at the people who genuinely want help, because there's a big difference between people who actually want help and want to change their shitty circumstances than the people who just want to go, oh, poor me, poor me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a big difference between those two people. And that's all it is really through the DMs all day. There's so many clients in the DMs. I probably miss some of them because I'm too busy sieving through all the shit and all the fucking violins to the people who actually want change. You know what I mean? But you can kind of tell the difference. So someone would reach out to me and say, like, join or whatever. So then I book a free call with them first, like a Zoom call 1-to-1, and then you know straight away, like, you literally, it's like an interview process. So you'll know within the first 20 minutes if they want help and stuff like that. Some people are like, that's why I have programs all the way from $29.99. I have courses that are £20 from all the way up to fucking a few £100s. You know what I mean? Like, it starts off very low ticket so that nobody can say they can't afford it.
Yeah.
And you know, if somebody says, oh, I'll have to wait till I get paid or whatever, and you're really that hard up and you haven't got £15 to pay for a course on how to get you out of a fucking toxic breakup, or do you know what I mean? Then you're not really serious about your help, because then you'll probably go and spend triple that on a Chinese at the weekend, or your Netflix will come out tomorrow, which is a tenner a day, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just an elimination process, this live coaching stuff, because there's just a lot of people who just want pity parties. They don't want help, and it's sad. It's sad because I was that person, like I was saying before I found personal development. I used to love playing a victim because I had a proper victim story. I'd been through so much shit by the age of 25. I got to the point of where, like, yeah, but I was one of them. I won't take accountability for my alcohol problem and the fact that I'm disappearing all weekend on my girlfriend, and the fact that I'm just I'm having people knocking on my mum's front door wanting to cave me skull in because I've been up to all sorts of mischief, you know. And none of that was my fault, because I had a proper sad story, and it was just, you know, it was that woe is me mentality, and it never served me. So that's why I don't let anybody get away with it now. That's why some programs are so cheap. And because then I get to say, like, and people know now, I've put a few reels out shouting my mouth off, fucking spitting everywhere about, like, you know, don't come to me unless you seriously want help. You can't. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people as well, sorry to cut you off. So a lot of people, if you take away their problems, if you take away their past, if you take away everything they lead with, then what have they got? They've got nothing. They've got no excuses then for not trying. There's just loads of gaps and loads of wasted time, loads of fucking health that they threw down the toilet, and loads of money that they wasted. And that takes a lot to just identify all that. People are scared. They don't want to look in the mirror. But because I've looked in the mirror, and because I've had to face my ugly truth, because I've had to face a liar and a coward and a victim and a person who had no mates and used to burn bridges and a fucking cheater, because I had to face that guy, and it was an ugly one-on-one. Do you know what I mean? I've had to do it for myself. So I ain't got that pity anymore for anybody else who's not willing to do the work for themselves. Do you understand?
Yeah, of course. And you've got to want to change. Like you said then, you've got to want to change. Like, you can't change. You can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you probably get, you probably get more messages on a Monday than a Friday. Do you know what I mean? With people, you know, whether it is the bin gone out on the weekend and this, that, and the other. But it's mad how a lot of people are in denial, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, they think at the time it's a good idea, but like, when you then go, oh, well, just, and like you say, you're not making mega money out, say 15 quid, you're not making a lot of money, but it's just that little bit of commitment. You're qualifying people even further. Do you know what I mean? Because you literally go, okay, well, this could potentially change your life. It's going to cost you 15 quid. Oh, well, I don't really want to pay 15 quid. Okay, sounds, but you're just asking for a little bit of commitment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Not so much you're going to make money bags like until they go out the door, but it's just a little bit of commitment to show.
It's just to separate the two, like the people who are serious and the people who are not. Like, if you're not willing to spend £15 on a course that could potentially help you get from a shitty place, then you're happy staying stuck. I don't want to hear it. And then after that point, you won't be able to DM me again with your bullshit. When I put a reel up about talking about the same topic, you won't be able to slide in my DMs crying wolf, do you know what I mean? Because I've give you an out, I've give you an option. You're choosing not to walk through the door. Nobody's stopping you. A lot of people pretend to stay stuck, pretend to be trapped when the door's wide open. They just don't want to walk through it because they'd rather be stuck in familiar chaos than step into unknown healing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. See, I think for me personally, last year, fitness, mate, was the going, we were talking about it before about addictive personalities. I'm very much like, it's 2 foot in with everything you're doing. If your brain cell goes, I like that, it's whack 2 feet in. And I almost swapped going to pub, drinking, this, that, and the other to go back to the gym and get healthy, and got addicted to that. So like now, but like, the clearer I'm thinking now because of that. And I say to everyone now, anyone struggling and they're not physically fit, it's a massive part of actually being better in your own head. Like if I don't go for a walk at night or, go to the sauna at night or stuff like that, my brain fizzles almost and I get locked into my own head. But if I box them 2 things out and do like a bit of a circuit in the morning, I have a 10 times different day. So, like, do you think, because I know you go to the gym a lot and stuff like that, do you think that's a big part of your own personal mindset, personal development? How important is fitness?
Yeah, as soon as I understood that no negative internal state can exist through peak performance, I'm just pushing myself to the max all the time because I'm thinking I am going to outwork what's trying to work on me on the inside. I'm going to push through my pain through physical exercise and stuff like that. And when I remember one time specifically, I'd going through a breakup, and normally me, when I'm going through a breakup, I'm straight out. I'm just trying to, they say the best way to get over someone is to get under someone and all that shit, and to just drink yourself to death every week until the pain heals. When really I thought, no, because I've done that all my life and it's never served me, so let me try and do it through the gym. And that's when I did actually start my Instagram, because if you scroll all the way down, it's just fucking workout videos, not even in gym clothes, mate. I used to wear all sorts to the gym, but just getting the work in and writing motivational stuff underneath. And it kind of gave me a sense of purpose and a different path that I'd never really been into. I've always been off and on the gear, in and out the gyms, always been since when I went to jail when I was 16 and I started lifting weights then, do you know what I mean? Then I got out and got 1 bar for Christmas, and I just used to put it behind my neck and press it all the time. Like, I was always like, when I got to like 20, I was always pretty broad, do you know what I mean? And then I fell in love with weights because I felt strong, do you know what I mean? And if you make yourself feel strong on the outside, it's only a matter of time before the inside catches up, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think fitness is a massive indicator, do you know? You can tell by someone's physical state of what's going on internally, you know what I mean? Like, you can look at someone up and down and know whether they respect themselves, whether they're disciplined, whether they fucking got any sort of standards, whether they actually care about themselves in many ways, you know what I mean? You can see someone's internal state by looking at their external most times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, do you know what's helped me the most in terms of like dealing with stress in my own head? And someone put me onto this, one of my mates, and he was saying, if you're stressing, you might have heard of it, if you're stressing about a load of different things and it's really, really bothering you, he said, go and get in the sauna. He said, go and get in the sauna. And until when you hit the point, sit in the sauna, no time frame. As soon as you sit in the sauna, get in there. And when you start going, right, I need to get the fuck out of the sauna, he said, then stay in for 10 minutes after that and try and think about everything that's fucking bothering you. And I guarantee you it won't be as bad as being in the sauna at that point. And I'll do it all the time now. And he says, what are you doing? You're tricking your brain, because actually it can't be that bad, because the whole time you're trying to think and concentrate on all these negative, bad things that are going on, being in the sauna at that point is still worse. Do you know what I mean? So you're almost tricking your brain. And that, mate, has helped me so much, like beyond, but something just as simple as that has helped me so much, like, because it's not, and when you actually look at it, there's so many things that you stress about that can actually be dealt with dead quick, with whether it's a conversation, whether it's doing something physically or emotionally, whatever. So much stuff can get put to bed by just you taking action on that rather than sitting there dwelling on it. And if you've never done that, give it a go. Because it's
I'm
it's
as
a
soon as I
game
walk
changer,
in
mate.
there, I'm like, oh, get me out. I can't breathe. I'm like, start getting claustrophobic and all that. I'm like, get me out. And then there'll be someone, big fat guy sat next to me sweating. I'm like, get me out of here. See sweat dripping off his nose. I'm like, get me out of here.
Of course. So, like, what's plans for the future? Because you're doing amazing things at the moment, mate. Like, where do you want to see it go? Like, and there's no end goal, but journey-wise, what do you want to sort of go through over the next sort of 5 years? What do you want to hit?
I just want to see myself be as big as I know that I can be. I used to be scared and hide behind the opinions and the would-be opinions of other people. So I capped my own ability and I capped putting myself out there online, and I didn't want to be in the spotlight and didn't want to be seen and stuff like that. But now I'm embracing my calling and embracing my purpose. I know that I'm meant to be on stage speaking in front of thousands of people. I'm meant to be putting not just on camera, but just putting people into different perspectives, you know what I mean? And just through my own passion and my own life experience and stuff. So I'm starting to really like step into the motivational speaking aspect. Like I'm literally doing a talk next weekend for my first one in front of like a room full of people, which I'm really excited about. And I just know that's going to be the start of something great. And it's just something like the way that somebody has made me feel through a motivational speech. If I can do that for somebody live, like that's like, you want to talk about good karma. That's like, that's going to be unbelievable. That's a dream of mine. So, like, I feel like my dreams are only around the corner. That's why I'm not stressing about a lot of other things. Like, I haven't got everything figured out on the business side of things. And I'm going through mentorships now and learning programs of how to monetize my social media and stuff like that. But that's not really what I'm focusing on. When I used to always beat myself up and focus on, like, I wanted like an out, I wanted financial freedom and this and that. When really I'm just thinking it's who I've got to become in order to attract all of those things, you know what I mean? It's not fucking how am I going to get there, it's who am I going to become, who am I going to have to be in order to bridge the gap from where I am now to all the riches in life, to this big platform and this big stage that I say that I want, that I pray for every day, do you know what I mean? So I just think like, in short to that, I just think what I'm doing now, but on such a bigger scale, I think I'm going to have more coaching programs and that for people to get on. I'm going to have a more finely tuned system. I'm going to have something that's got even more value in it. Like, you can go to my page and you can get as much free value as you want every single day. There's 1-2 videos going up every day. You might not be able to relate one day, but you definitely will be the next, because they're all like relatable topics. So I'm just going to keep pushing out my free content. Then I'm just going to take on as many speaking gigs, just stretching myself on these podcasts, going all over the country, sitting down with people like yourself, and just trying to motivate other people's audiences, and just trying to spread my reach. You know what I mean? And just trying to leave my mark on the world.
Yeah, 100%. Well, just like what you just said then about you wanting to go and sit in a room full of people and motivate them, you're already doing that through, social media, Instagram. You've got the potential there to do it to thousands, if not millions of people every day. Do you know what I mean? So what I'd say is, you're already doing it.
Yeah, no, I just want to do it on a.
But you want to do it on a personal level, on a more personal level,
on a bigger scale as well. Do you know what I mean? Because not a lot of people know who I am, and I think there's a lot of people out there, because I get messages every single day saying I really needed to hear that. That's the most common thing that I get. I really needed to hear that today, or you don't understand how much I needed that today, which tells me that person was on the brink of doing something stupid, which tells me that person was at an all-time low of their life. So if I can reverse that just through saying a few things, then why the fuck not? Why would I not do that? Do you know what I mean? If I can, why not? Like, if you can make somebody else's life better just by putting a bit of energy in, just by showing a bit of passion, just expressing a bit of vulnerability or something, then why would you not do that? If you're then you're robbing the world of something that you've been given to share. Do you know what I mean? And then you want to talk about karma and things like that, then you literally just putting a cap on your own karma by holding back. You've been given a gift and you're not sharing it with the world. Do you know what I mean? So I just think I'm just a massive advocate for sharing everything that I've been through, and just trying to get more of those messages, trying to get more people from out of like dark places and stuff like that, like, from places where I've been. Because I know the power in it. I know the power in the gift that I possess. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to spread it out for as far and wide as I can.
100%, bro. So for anyone watching, then, if they are wanting to sign up to mentorship coaching, what do they have to do?
DM me on any platform, on TikTok, Instagram, anything like that. If you reach out, I see them. I see them all. I even see I see the hate in the DMs. I see the, you know what I mean? I see them all. I see them all. Some of them go in a request folder, so it takes me a minute to catch you, but it'll take a couple hours, and I'll catch your message. If you're genuinely serious, like what I was saying before, if you're genuinely serious about getting help, then there's help here from pennies to actual personal coaching. There's high end programs and stuff like that, which is like. But even the smallest and the cheapest stuff, even the free content will change your life. Do you know what I mean? If you are hard up and you just want to come and you want to soak up, figure out who you're actually going to be signing up with first. I've got nearly 600 videos. Watch a few of them. See who you're relating to. Do you know what I mean? See who you're going to be investing in. Do you know? And then I guarantee I'll change your life.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll put all the links in this anyway. So if anyone wants to get in touch, I'll put your Instagram at the bottom or Linktree or whatever it is. But mate, thank you so much. That was a good chat.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity,
chat,
man.
mate.
I appreciate it. I could go forever, mate.
Mate, and this is it. And if there's any way, mate, I can help you or anything in the future with whatever, then just give me a shout, because you're a fucking good lad and it's amazing what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Safe, brother. Nice one.